All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the weekend wrap up where we talk about games from the previous weekend. This weekend was full of some really good games, but there was one in particular that got my attention. That was full of everything that I love: drama, off the court stuff, uh, on the court stuff, and just everything in between. It was a really good game, to say the least. And that was Knicks in Golden State to play the Warriors, where the Warriors got the victory 97 to the Knicks 94 points. Um, the Knicks were without their all star point guard, Jalen Brunson. And I believe, yeah, the Warriors were at full strength. So we're going to talk about that game, um, address some of the off the court stuff that happened, and just everything in between. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment them down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. We're also going to hit some games that are coming up tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday, I believe. There are no games at the end of the week, but you guys will get a video. No need to worry. There will always be content. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So I have to set the stage for this battle, right? For this battle. So the Warriors were in New York to play the Knicks. The first time they played. Um, if I could pull that game up, I actually didn't pull that game up. Just to tell you when it was. Schedule. Let's see here. It was very recently. It was very recently. Yeah. It was very recently. It was on March 4th, so at the beginning of the month, right? They lost that game also to the Warriors. But since the Warriors acquired Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline, uh, for those who do not know, Jimmy has a lot of, I won't even say enemies. He just has a lot of beef with people. Just has a lot of bad blood with some people from previous stops in his career. Both Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns, the Knicks center, uh, used to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves and Tom Thibodeau, who is now the New York Knicks head coach. So there's a lot of things going on there, right? And they did not end on the best of terms. Uh, I won't get into the whole diatribe of it, but Jimmy Butler essentially said, "Cat, you're soft. You don't want it enough. You're not a winner. You're a loser. I made Minnesota relevant." This was years and years ago when this thing happened, and they all went. The Cat stayed in Minnesota, played out. What we didn't know was the remainder of his career. Um, and then this offseason, Cat got traded to the Knicks. Jimmy Butler, in that whole fiasco, ended up um, from Minnesota in Philly, then to Miami, and now he's in Golden State. And they've had beef on and off for the last couple years. Obviously, being in different conferences, um, you only see each other twice a year, maybe three times a year, depending on the scheduling. Um, but they don't like each other, is my point. So Golden State comes to New York. They're supposed to play Karl Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, and everybody. Pardon me. They're supposed to play Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns and the Knicks, and obviously Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and everybody on the Warriors. Um, Something came up for Karl Anthony Towns, something tragic. I believe one of his girlfriend's friends lost their life, so he was not in attendance for the game. Obviously, out personal reasons. This was not made public till later, so it was just nondescript on the stat sheet when you watch the game. Karl Anthony Towns out, personal reasons, right? And Draymond Green, the Warriors mouthpiece, the Warriors guy. He is the talker of the team. Goes on his podcast with Baron Davis and says, "Oh, Karl Anthony Towns doesn't want to play Jimmy Butler. He's scared of Jimmy Butler. Whatever. Right? Very short-sighted and immature thing of Draymond to say at 30 something years old, but that's Draymond for you, right? and obviously the news comes out of why Karl Anthony Towns missed the game. Draymond Green, I'll give him credit, apologized hours after. Obviously, when you say something like that, the person on the internet isn't gonna like that. So Carl came into this game upset, rightfully so. Jimmy Butler had no horse in the race except that Draymond Green's now his teammate, and Jimmy Butler dislikes Karl Anthony Towns, but Jimmy Butler didn't do anything wrong in this scenario. So the matchup of the night was Draymond Green versus Karl Anthony Towns, which is so weird to say, but that was the matchup of the night. These teams are very evenly matched. Um, the Warriors improved to 39-28 on the season, and the New York Knicks stand pat at 42-24 on the season. The big matchup, like I said, Karl Anthony Towns versus Draymond Green. Um, Karl Anthony Towns had 29 points. He was in a lot of foul trouble the first half of the game. 12 rebounds, 3 assists. He ended up fouling out right at the end. He played it very well. He had like 4 fouls for the rest of the game, and then towards the end when it started getting closer to the end, he just fouled out. Um, 12 of 21. He was their engine for a majority of the second half. He got this game really, really close. Um, they scored the same amount of points in the fourth quarter. I'm looking at it right now, and they almost scored the same amount of points in the third quarter. So this was a very, very close game the whole way through. And then Draymond Green, the stats aren't going to pop out at you, but he had 9 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 of 5 from three. He was taking them confidently, but that first one went in, and it was like, wow, is he going to hit like 4 tonight? And he didn't. Um, and the real battle was mentally. Because, like I said, Karl Anthony Towns got in foul trouble very early on, and Draymond Green was playing into it. And Draymond Green, when you go to war mentally with Draymond Green, you are never going to win that war. Because he is always going to get the last laugh. He is always going to point out the obvious. Like when Carl got his third foul, Coach Tom Thibodeau for the Knicks had to check him out. Had to like say, "Hey, come to the bench." And Draymond Green just pointed at the bench and said, "Go to the bench." And what is Carl going to do? Not go to the bench? He has to leave the court. It's little things like that where you're not going to win the war mentally because Draymond Green knows he's been doing this for so long. He's been terrorizing people for so long mentally, and it's hard to check him, But let's talk about the other Warriors. The starting lineup, surprisingly, I looked at this. I said, okay, this might work. With Steph Curry, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, Guy Santos, and Draymond Green at the five. Um, Steph Curry had 28 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, uh, 4 of 13 from three, hit some big ones, 8 of 20 overall. Didn't have the best game. His previous game, he set a new record for the NBA in threes, with 4,000 made threes and counting. Congrats to him. And this game he didn't really do much, but he was out there. He was out there. Moses Moody came in the starting lineup and played big, 18 points, hit some amazing threes down the stretch, some much needed um, floor spacing, 4 of 8 from three, 7 of 14 overall from field goal. Jimmy Butler with a light 11, 6 rebounds, seven assists, nothing too crazy. Guy Santos, 5 points, made 1 3, hit another shot, and like I said, Draymond Green 9 points. Didn't really get much off the bench, and that's why this game was so close for the Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga came in with 10. Um, and I don't know, man. Jonathan Kuminga coming into this lineup after missing time with that ankle injury, I believe. He might have lost his spot because like as good as Jonathan Kuminga is, like guys like Jonathan, guys like Trace Jackson Davis, you have a lot of guys at that position, especially with Jimmy Butler here now. You have a lot of guys at that position, and it's good for the Warriors because it creates depth, and you have the opportunity to bring a guy like Jonathan Kuminga off the bench. but it also limits his minutes. This game he did play 20 minutes. Quentin Post also played 19. Gary Payton the second played 25, but I, I don't know if a guy like Jonathan Kaminga is okay with that. I assume he is for the moment, but I would also assume you want your role to inflate versus deflate as the season goes on. But I guess that's just what the injuries happen. They just happen, and you lose your spot. For the Knicks, there were a lot of things that the Knicks did right. Let me start off with the leading scorer again, Karl Anthony Towns. The second leading scorer, OG Anunoby, 23 points, 9 rebounds, eight, and not eight, 2 assists, 3 steals. I combined the two. I read it as an eight. um, 2 of 3 from three for OG, 7 for 15 overall. He played 38 minutes. Mikal Bridges, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Played some good defense. Didn't get any steals or blocks, but was on ball a lot. Got a lot of good stops. Miles McBride got the start for them. He started to heat up for them. 19 points, 3 of 6 from three. And Josh Hart, 6 to 7, 6. Oh, wait, I'm reading it wrong. 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 0 points. Um, and as a Tom Thibodeau team, the bench did not play. And to touch on that a little bit, during the game or in the previous game, um, Mikal Bridges, the starting small forward for the Knicks, um, came out and well, it came out that he had had a conversation with Tom Thibodeau, their coach, said, "Hey, we need to lower these minutes. The playoffs are a month away. We need to lower these minutes. We need to start, getting ready for that and not worry too much about the season right now. Let these other guys get some run. You have guys like Precious Achua. You have guys like Campaign. Have guys like Landry Shamet. You get PJ Tucker off the waiver wire. You have DeLon Wright. You have Tyler Kolek. You have Mitchell Robinson, who I am not sold on. He just came back from injury. He looks slow. He looks disengaged. I get it, but that's just Mitchell Robinson's personality. And I could talk about Mitchell Robinson for a good 10 minutes, but I'm not going to. So yeah, Mikal Bridges came out and said that. And then in the huddle from the other night, um, against the Warriors, Josh Hart was seen screaming and yelling at Tibbs, and Tibbs was screaming back at him. We have no idea what it was about, but we assume it was the frustration of the game, but also the amount of minutes. I mean, the only starter that didn't play 30 minutes was Karl Anthony Towns, and that was because he had foul trouble. So another disappointing loss for the Knicks. This game was also Steve Kerr's pinnacle of his coaching career. He became the Warriors' all-time leading winningest coach or winningest coach of all time in Warriors history. I think that's how you're supposed to say it. Congrats to him. Big milestone. I don't know. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Steve Kerr coaching record. Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's see. Let me find this for you. Yes, I got it here. So his record as an NBA coach is 558 to 302. I believe that is correct. If not, just know he's the all time winningest coach for the Warriors. That's all you need to know. And this was a good win. This was a gritty Warriors win. This is exactly what they've been needing. And for the Knicks, it's a little disappointing. Um, I think Jalen Brunson is supposed to be back at the beginning of April, so they need to survive at least another 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a half without him. And they play the Heat tonight. We'll get into that in 1 second. And the Warriors are making some noise, and I was one of the people that were like, I don't think the Warriors are gonna do that well. I think they're gonna kind of hit their apex and stay around where they were. I think it was like the 7 or 6 seed. And with the Lakers sort of taking a turn for the worse, LeBron is supposed to come back at some point soon. Um, the Warriors could sneak into their spot. I mean, if we look at the standings right now, and I also want to look at the playoff bracket. Let's see here. Yeah, the Warriors could creep up. They're only what is this? They're only 3 games behind the Lakers at the 5 seed. So that would be that you would need to work some magic there, and you would need the Lakers to fall. It wouldn't hurt if Memphis lost a couple games too. You could even get up to the 4 seed, but that's wishful thinking. If I pull up what could be the playoff bracket right now, this was posted by the NBA 6 hours ago, so it's fresh off the presses. The Warriors would have to play the Nuggets, and I don't know how. I'm very skeptical of the Nuggets, but I'm also not completely sold on the Warriors center rotation. Um, Quentin Post, Draymond, Trace Jackson Davis. I don't know if that cuts it against a multiple time MVP in Nikola Jokic on the Nuggets. I don't know if that cuts it. So if you can get up to the 5, that would be sort of ideal because then you get to play the Grizzlies, who you've bounced in the playoffs multiple times at this point. They've bounced you from the play in, but that was almost 4 years ago now. So, and these are both completely different teams. So, I think the Warriors would feel much more comfortable against the Grizzlies than the Nuggets, but we shall see. Let's jump into these games that are coming up. So we got Monday. Yeah, we got Monday and Wednesday games. No games, no primetime games, I should say. Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday, because college basketball is happening. I don't think they're going to try to go up against college basketball. So let's talk about these games. We got Miami in New York to play the Knicks. I'm gonna give it to New York. I'm gonna give it to New York. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami gave them a run for their money, but I think New York's defense is really good. If anything, if Miami Heat do pull it out, I think it'd be behind Bam Adebayo and like Khalil Ware or something. Having a big game against Karl-Anthony Towns, whose defense has fallen off. Speaking of Denver versus Golden State, they play tonight. A playoff matchup preview, perhaps. Um, oh man, I try not to bet against Nikola Jokic, but give me Golden State. Why not? Why not? Why not? So that's Monday, and then Wednesday we have Detroit versus Miami. I'm gonna take Detroit. Oh, nah, give me Detroit. Give me Detroit. Give me Detroit. It's in Miami, which is, but give me Detroit. I like Detroit. And then you have Denver versus Los Angeles. Ooh, I think if Denver wins against the Warriors, they can win against Los Angeles, and they just won against Los Angeles the other night on the back of Jamal Murray. So I think they could just duplicate it again. Um, all things being considered. But if they lose to the Warriors on Monday, I think they lose to Los Angeles as well. I don't think they either they get 2 losses or they get 2 wins. I don't think they split them. So yeah, that's it. That is the weekend wrap up. That's my quickest one yet. I did a good job. But like I said at the beginning, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys um tomorrow or whenever. I should stop saying tomorrow. I should just say next time. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. All right. Cheers.